So good evening. First, we are going to talk about the last part of states of matter because there was no time last class. I told you we are going to do it today. I'm going to start by the last part of states of matter. Then we will do, I'm going to explain everything about the tools of the ways of separation or experimental techniques. Okay? طيب. In the class, if you remember the ones who were with me in the class, I told you if I'm going to spray, and I did this in the class, I don't know you remember or not, I get a perfume and then I sprayed all over the all over the room, in some parts of the room, not all the room. So what happened? By time we found in the whole room was smelling so good, if you remember, and you said, oh, it's lovely, lovely smell. What happened? The particles of the perfume, they are going to spread all over the room. So by time, you're going to find in all the room have the smell of the perfume. So what happened? What happened here is diffusion. Yani the movement of the particles of the perfume from high concentration, from where I pressed the perfume, from this area to all the room. Yep, this means diffusion is the movement of the particles from high concentration to low concentration. So this is what we call diffusion. The point is, diffusion is going to happen in solid, liquids, or gases. Diffusion mainly happen in what? Do you remember? We said that diffusion mainly is going to happen in liquid and gases, but it's not going to happen in solids. Correct. It's going to happen in liquids and it's going to happen in gases, but طبعا for solids, it's not going to happen. Why it's not going to happen? لأنه particles of the solid, they are almost just vibrating. There is no space for them to move. Like for the liquids and for the gases, the particles are always in motion. What I showed you, if you remember, I don't know, last class, did I show you the video for this? So I'm going to show you about more than one experiment related to the diffusion. The first experiment, it's related to the brown gas, which is bromine. If you remember, I will show you now. I think I didn't show you this video, but I will show you the video now for the bromine. I'm going to get two gas jars. Well, I'm going to put in one of them bromine, with the other one, I'm going just to keep air. So what they expect by time, and if these two gas jars were separated, but by time I'm going to bromine. What do you think? If I'm going to put by time, what will happen? Do you think both of them they are going to have? What do you think? Both of them they are going to have what?
Bromine mixed together.
Exactly. Correct. So by time, I'm going to share my screen. I will show you the video now. Let's see. Here is it. You can see the YouTube.
Bromine, an orange-colored gas.
What's this? The majority they tell me, Miss, this is gas, a measuring cylinder, same like the class. This is not a measuring cylinder, sir. This is not a measuring
That's a glass jar.
Thank you. Thank you. This is a gas jar. What's the difference between measuring cylinder and gas jar? And the measuring cylinder is what? Measuring cylinder is used to measure the volume of the liquids. Yani if I'm having a liquid, I want to measure its volume, yes, you can use a measuring cylinder. But for here, this is not a measuring cylinder, this is a gas jar. What do I do by the gas jar, Yuki? What do I do? I just collect the gas. Yani if I'm collecting the gas, I want to collect the gas, I want to do any experiment with the gas, but no need, I don't need to measure it. You use the gas jar. As you see, it's not graded. There is no numbers, no scale. Okay, let's see what will happen.
Place a jar of air.
Once she will remove the lid.
And it slowly starts to spread. It's moving up the tube against gravity. Over time,
you see?
The two gases mix.
Oh, this could be a question in the exam for Cambridge and for Edexcel. They get this question. They will get you the two gas jars, and then they will tell you what will happen by time. For all what I'm going to say, in both of them, they are going to be brown gas. Yani both of them, they will mix, both of them, they will diffuse. Why did they diffuse? Why do you think they diffuse? Because the particles are already in motion all the time. But since particles are in motion, but this means automatic diffusion will happen. Both of them they will have the same. I will show you another one, but for liquid بقى. Diffusion of
يعني مقصودهم ايه براون جاس؟
هو البرومين ده براون جاز. ما احنا
يعني
بصي
هو
I
اسمه
want
براون جاس ولا هيكون براون جاس؟
no, it is brown. Do you know, like I'm having two gas jars. One of them is filled with air, but it's no color. With the other one, it is filled with bromine, which is brown gas. I'm getting one with no color, one with brown color. So when you remove the lid, both will mix together. You got my point? So at the end, this is a proof in both of them they will be orange or brown. But this means in هما they moved. In the diffusion happened.
اوكي.
You got what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect. So now I'm going to show you diffusion of potassium manganate. Potassium manganate, it is something like the ink. It is a purple, dark purple color. And I'm going to put it with water. Let's see what will happen. I will ask you for the observation. What's happening?
It diffused until the concentration was even.
شوية كده عشان أحس بالmotivation. By time we're going to find in all the water will be
Purple.
exactly
Purple.
good job. يا سلام. لا purple بقاله صوتكم ما شاء الله. برافو. Good job. Why purple? لأنه by time the potassium permanganate is going to diffuse all over the water. So that's easy. يبقى there is diffusion in liquids. بس طبعا for sure diffusion in gases is almost it's faster طبعا. It is happening in liquid or in gases. But for sure in gases it's faster. Mrs. Bromine brown or orange brown. You can say orange brown or brown. It's my first time. بجد يا يحيى والله it's your first time. يعني ده احنا يعني it's an honor. على راسي يا فندم والله. منورنا مسيو يحيى. يعني it's a pleasure dear. It's the first time and not the last. You will see. addicted. هتبقى addicted للكيمستري خلاص. يلا بص بقى. Now we are going to take another experiment again for diffusion. It's going to be talking about ammonia or hydrogen chloride. If you are studying Cambridge, if you are studying Edexcel, this is very important. يعني this is the most important experiment in topic 1. All the time they put it in the exam, whatever بقى Cambridge أو Edexcel. طيب, what am I going to say in this experiment? I will show you the video. I'm going to get a tube and then I'm going to put here a piece of cotton. Okay? And then on the other side, I'm going to get another piece of cotton. And then what will happen? Both pieces of cotton. Well, why you are joining late? Many students are joining so late. Our class is 8:30. Now it's 9. Try as much as you can to join on time, please. So again, I'm going to get 2 pieces of cotton in this tube. I'm going to get one of them, I will fill it with ammonia, and the other one, I'm going to fill it with hydrogen chloride. What will happen? Ammonia and hydrogen chloride, these gases, we call them volatile gases. What do I mean volatile? And very easy to evaporate. So both of them, they are going to diffuse, the ammonia and the HCl. But the point is, same like what I told you in the class, the students that are with me in my class in the school, I always tell them we are going to do something like a challenge. Okay? So
حضرتك عملت ميوت.
Miss Nour, we cannot hear you. And your camera is also off.
So again, as I told you, if I'm going to get the ammonia and the HCl, I was telling you about the students in the class. I was telling them we will do something really simple. I will stand in one corner of the class where I'm going to get any of the students who are really light. Anyone بقى من students الكوكي كده حاجة صغننة كده. And we are going to walk to run opposite to each other. So what will happen? If I'm going to run in this direction and this student who is really يعني not they're not كده fat يعني something كده student حاجة من الناس skinny and they are going to run from this direction. So I always ask my students, where are we going to meet? We do it in the class as a play. So where we are going to meet? For sure the one
Closer to the fat one.
Yes, the one who is fat is going to move really slowly. Am I right? Or to diffuse slowly. Like in the one which is really light is going to move really quick. طيب, but regarding the gases, which one should go faster? Or which one should diffuse faster?
Ammonia.
Exactly.
That has a low molecular mass.
Thank you. Good job. So if I'm having hydrogen chloride, how do I know HCl? How do I know which one is heavier, which one is lighter? I'm going to check in the periodic table. You will find in the chlorine is 35.5 and 17. So if I want to calculate the MR for this, what do I mean by the word MR? MR يعني total the big numbers. Why? لأنه the big numbers for any compound, this is the mass for the compound. يعني if I'm having H with Cl as an example, I'm having 1 or I'm having 35.5. So you will add both numbers together. I'm going to add 1 plus 35.5. So it's going to be 36.5. يبقى this means إنه the total is 36.5. يبقى this is the mass of the HCl. طيب, what about the ammonia? If I'm having here ammonia, I'm having NH3. So for the ammonia, for every nitrogen, it is 14 and 7. Every
17
is 1 and 1. Exactly. So if I want to calculate the MR, it's going to be 14 plus, take care. I'm not going to say, check it out, this is only 114. But here, don't say you have 1 hydrogen. No, I'm having 3 hydrogen, H. So
multiplied
exactly. So at the end, it's going to be what? 17. If one of them is 17, the other one is 36.5. So which one is heavier? I'm going to find that HCl is for sure heavier. That's why it's going to move a small distance. Like in the ammonia is really light, so it will move a bigger distance. That's why they will meet in this point. He will ask you, why did they meet and where they did meet? Did they meet? They will ask you both questions. So number one, I'm going to say, he will give you, let's say A, B, C, and D. So they will ask you where they will meet. I'm going to say at D.
D.
Why especially at D? Because it is near the heavier one. He will ask you, explain please. For Cambridge and for Edexcel, they must ask you explain. So once they will ask you how to explain, you will say, because the HCl is going to have a higher molecular mass or higher MR. If you just said this, you will take 1 out of 2. لأنه I need to say إنها it will diffuse slower. If you said only إن this is heavier, this is wrong. You need to say كمان إنها it will diffuse slower. The one which is heavy, it's going to diffuse slower. يبقى always, whenever I'm going to find this question, I will say إنه they will meet near the heavy one, not the light one. طيب, another question. He will come and tell me where they're gonna meet at A, B, C, or D if you increase the temperature. So some students, they tell me, Miss, they will meet in the middle. Why? But this is still heavy or this is still light.
At the same point.
Exactly, good job. So this means they are going to meet up at the same point, no difference. What's the difference if you increase the temperature? If I increase the temperature, the particles, they are going just to travel faster, to diffuse faster. While in particles, they are going to gain more kinetic energy. So for sure, they are going to diffuse faster. This is the trick. But that's the trick. Particles, they are going to gain more kinetic energy, so they are going to diffuse faster. Instead, let's say, they will meet here after 5 minutes, they will meet here after 30 seconds. It will happen faster, like at the same point. Okay? Let's continue. How did already past 30 minutes? يا يحيى, it's passing really quick. الوقت الحلو. نعمل ايه؟ محمود, please يا محمود, بعد كده try as much as you can to be on time. ممكن again. Which part يا هنون you want me to do it again? Which part? بهاء سلطان سات كوكتيل ليه؟ فين بهاء سلطان؟ ده مفيش بهاء سلطان خالص. جبت الست بهاء، ده انا عامله لكم حتى السونج يعني that I choose was يعني كده. اوكي يا هنون.
So if they let us explain, we just say because the hydrogen is slow, so the ammonia like catches up to the hydrogen, so that's how they meet each other.
No, yeah, Yahya, take care. I cannot say hydrogen is small. I didn't say this. Take care. This is called hydrogen chloride. The hydrogen chloride is heavy. As I told you, here the mass was 36.5. Here the mass of the ammonia, NH3, was 17. So this means the HCl was heavier. That's why it's going to move slower or to diffuse slower. Okay, Hanoun, يبقى again, I'm going to say HCl was heavier, so it's going to move slower. Like in this one was, the ammonia was lighter, so that's why it's going to move faster. Okay, I will explain, but I want, if anyone has any question, keep it at the end so we can finish. لأنه if we're going to take all the question, we will not finish. At the end, just write بس the question, at the end tell me your questions, I will reply. Okay, طيب. Then this is the idea of the hydrogen chloride and the ammonia. That's why they will diffuse where they are going to meet up here. If you check, they will meet up in this area. Oh, they are going to meet up here. Right. The question is, he will tell you what is the reaction. So I will say this is ammonia and this is hydrogen chloride. So I will say plus HCl. And then I need to check what is going to be the product. Here it is NH3 و HCl. So what should I do? Let's check بقى لأنه I need to know what is this white substance. I don't know. So here I have only one nitrogen. I will put the nitrogen. Here I have how many hydrogen? Here 3 hydrogen and 1. So total 4 hydrogen. And here how many chlorine do I have? Cl. Okay, so this is the product. I know this is very easy for you, but I'm repeating. So again, here I have only 1 nitrogen. I put the nitrogen. Here I have 3 hydrogen and 1. So total 4 hydrogen. And then I have 1 chloride. So it is called NH4Cl. For Edexcel, before they asked I don't remember 4 years ago or 5 years ago, I don't remember. They asked, write this equation and please include state symbols. So if they ask for state symbols, what should I do? For state symbols, you need to say which one was solid, which one was liquid, which one was gas. So which one should I write back? I'm going to write for this one. Oh, for this one,
Gas.
Exactly. I'm going to write, and this is a gas. This is a gas. We'll change بس the. This is a gas. HCl again, it's a gas.
It's also gas.
Yes, but ammonium chloride بقى, this is white solid, or you can say white fumes. We don't write it's a gas. We write it's a solid. Even if you Google it, you will find it's a solid. So here a gas, we here a gas, and then the solid one. Do you answer question of us to explain? No problem. Remind me, Omar, at the end, or I will reply. No problem. Hold. Yes, that's true, ya Hussein. Correct. That's true. Okay. That's all for this topic, but it's just only very small part because someone was asking about this question. I will say it. اللي هي Brownian motion. It's not common at all, honestly, يعني, to ask about the Brownian motion, but since you want it, I will explain it. Okay? 1 minute. I will explain بقى what's the idea. I kid for sure all of you know it. But I will explain it كده Brownian motion. So if anyone doesn't, yes.
Miss Hawa, why you said that the ammonium chloride is a solid? How do we know whether it's solid or not?
I will tell you something. This is later when we take the acids and the bases. You will know what is the يعني في many substance. We will know, is it a gas, is it a solid, is it liquid, is it aqueous? We will take this later. Don't worry. For now, let's still you didn't
Okay,
take
thank you.
which one as solid. You're most welcome. Type for this one, this is called the Brownian motion. It's, as I told you, it's very rare in the exams. Here is it, Brownian motion. What's the Brownian motion? Brownian motion, it happened when I مثلا open the window. If I open the window, and you know when I look, يعني I will show you مثلا, let's say, imagine كده with me, and then I'm going to look at the light, the sun كده is going to I will open the window, I will find all the light. I will look كده away, I will check all the light of the sun. What will happen? I will find there is something like motion of the particles for the dust. I don't know, did you see this before? Yeah. You will find the dust كده, they are moving in a random direction. they are moving كده in a Brownian.
Yes.
Exactly. So this Brownian motion, or this zigzag motion, we call it Brownian motion. So if they asked you in school, what's the Brownian motion? هي البوينت إنه الأير إن الأير molecules all the time they are colliding with each others and they are pushing each others in all direction, in random direction. That's why it looks like a zigzag. It moves like a zigzag line because they are pushing each others everywhere and in random direction. طيب, another one question برضو one student asked me about اللي هو pressure of the gases. I want to talk about it. So if you will be asked about this question, you know it already, this one. Where I put, by the way, the PDF, I don't know, did you see it or not? I put for you the PDF and the first class that we did, اللي هو state of matter that we did last Friday. Well, thank you so much for all the lovely comments. يعني موبايل هنج last Friday ما شاء الله كم feedback. يعني I couldn't do, I don't know what to do أصلا والله بجد. يعني ما شاء الله a lot of messages و a lot of reply ويعني thank you so much بجد على والmothers والله يعني وcalls. فتhank you so much بجد really. يعني you really made my day والله last Friday. Thank you so much. Thank you for the lovely messages على الجروب والprivate messages. it was really nice يعني. I really appreciate it. إن شاء الله برضو this week I'm going to put the second topic, the second PDF for the second topic. طبعا أكيد for sure we're not going to finish all the experimental techniques today, but I will tell you at least we are going to talk about the main lab tools, the main parts of the that we use in the lab, لأنه this is really important for Cambridge for Edexcel عشان الpractical بقى. I will tell you about it إن شاء الله. Next Friday we will continue. So if I ask you for now, what is gas pressure and why أصلا there is gas pressure? Why there is a pressure? The point in all the time the gas particles are moving and they are colliding with the walls of the container. يعني if I'm having any container, whatever بقى this container, like a balloon أو a gas cylinder, أي حاجة, any gas, any container. If there is a gas inside it, all the time you will find that the gas particles, they are colliding with the walls, the walls itself. They are colliding together and they are colliding with the walls. But since they are colliding all the time with the walls, like this, you see? Oh, I'm using the white one. They are colliding with each other and with the walls of the container. That's why this is the main reason or the main cause of the gas pressure. طيب, what will happen if this was the container? طب if I will make the container, I will get the container, I will make it a little bit less smaller container. What will happen? أكيد for sure they are
Pressure will increase.
Exactly. أكيد for sure they are going to collide more. I said this to my students. I told them, imagine إن إحنا we are 30 students مثلا. We're running in the lab or in the class. All the time we're running. طب if I'm going to get the same 30 students and we are going to go for the small bathroom and then we are going to run, what will happen? All of us, we are going to collide more for sure. لأنه the volume is going to be smaller. Since the volume is going to be smaller, for sure we are going to collide more and more. Okay? So when the gas, as I told you, when the gas is compressed, if you check when the gas is compressed, the volume is going to be less. That's why all the particles, they are going to collide. They're going to move closer. So the pressure is going to be more لأنه they are colliding with each other and with the walls of the container. Okay. طيب. What about the temperature? If I increase the temperature, أكيد for sure the particles, they are going to gain more energy, they are going to move frequently, and they are going to, طبعا for sure more than the normal case. That's why what will happen, the pressure by time is going to be more. But this part is really easy, but I just wanted to say it because I don't want anyone to have any question yet. So that's why I said it. طيب, let's talk about experimental techniques as I told you, and we are going to talk about all the lab tools that we use in the lab. I will tell you every single difference between them. لأنه this is very important. How do I know? I replied for this. They won't gain more energy unless it's temperature. طبعا يا جوجو, for sure. Particles, they never gain energy يا جوجو except if you increase the temperature. This is the only reason. If you didn't increase the temperature, nothing will happen. Right. Let's talk about the tools. As I told you, I'm going to put this on the groups. If you are on the chemistry lovers group, I'm going to put this on the groups. Inshallah, it will help. The first part, we are going to talk about what are the tools that we usually use in the lab. Number one, طبعا for sure we use the balance. أكيد for sure all of us we use the balance. What do we use the balance for? We use the balance for measuring the masses. يعني if I want to measure the mass of anything, I want to measure the mass of this, I want to measure the mass of this, I want to measure the mass of anything, what will happen? Same like the lab. If I'm in the lab, I want to measure the mass of the salt, يبقى for sure I will use the balance. طيب, if I want to put any chemicals, or I want to mix the chemicals, what should I do? أكيد for sure I'm going to use a beaker. Please take care. There is a difference between a beaker and a flask. عشان ما شاء الله in the class يعني I was shocked. The beaker different than the flask. طيب, what's the difference? بصوا, this is a beaker. This one اللي هو it looks like a cup. يعني البيكر it looks like a cup. لكن الفلاسك it's totally different. Is there a relation between? No, there isn't, يا أحمد. Mainly temperature. So again, this is the beaker. I want to show you about the flask. This is a flask. You see, there is a big difference. But what do we use? يعني what's the difference between both? The point in the flask, you can use it if you want to shake something. If I'm having the flask, I want to shake like this. So it's easier to use a flask, like in titration. If I want to shake, يبقى أكيد it's easier to use the flask. But if I want to just mix any two substances, you want to do any reaction, normally we use the beaker. طيب, is there any other forms for the flask? Yes. This is a flask. This one is a flask, or the other one, there is another conical. This is called conical flask. This is called rounded bottom flask. But if in the exam I just wrote a flask, I didn't say rounded bottom flask or conical flask. If you just said flask, it's correct. You can say just flask. No need. If you don't want to mention which one, خلاص, it's fine. You can just say you're most welcome. You can just say.
But Miss, what is the difference?
No, there is no difference. You can use any of them. It's fine. Okay. لكن there is a difference بقى between the flask and the beaker. Take care في الشيب يعني. طيب, what about this one? What's this? We use the Bunsen burner. What do we use the Bunsen burner for? We use the Bunsen burner if I want to heat any substance. يعني if I'm having, let's say I want to do crystallization. Can you please mute? Thank you. If I want to heat any substance, I'm having let's say salty solution, or I want to heat it, I want to remove the water, let's say, I can use a Bunsen burner. So I will do a Bunsen burner like this. This is how we do it. Like this, we use it like this. I'm going to put this is the Bunsen burner. And if this is the Bunsen burner, this is the Bunsen burner. Okay? طيب, what am I going to put above the Bunsen burner? I'm going to put what above the Bunsen burner? I'm going to put a tripod. There is something called a tripod. We put it above it like this. أكيد for sure you saw it before. What's the function بقى for the tripod? This one. And why do we call it a tripod? Tripod, it means three. Pod, it means legs. So tripod, it means 3 legs. يعني I'm using it and it's made of 3 legs. So why do I use it? I use it because if I want to heat, I want to put something, a beaker مثلا, I want to put it on the Bunsen burner. Am I going to hold it? أكيد for sure no. يبقى أكيد I need to put the tripod so I can put the beaker above it. طيب, the tripod from up, it's opened. So what should I put above it? I need to put, do any of you know? There is something كده we put here.
Gauze.
Gauze, correct. So what's the gauze? Gauze, it's something very thin, metallic layer كده, very thin. حاجة شبه, it looks like a filter كده. Just we put it, so it do two tasks. The first one, it balance whatever you're going to put. يعني if I'm going to hold, I want to put a beaker above it, so for sure it's going to hold the beaker. Number two, it divide the heat when you want to heat a substance, you want the heat to be divided on all the area. يعني I don't want the heat to be in one area or not the other. There is something like this in the kitchen, but I don't know بقى طبعا for sure. I don't know. I don't think so you know it. But maybe mothers, if we have mothers in the meeting, maybe they know it.
Yes, what we have in اللي احنا بنحطها على العين دي
Exactly.
عشان نحط الكنكة بتاعتنا.
صاحبة مزاج قوي. Yes, correct. We use it sometimes, but it's not the same طبعا. But something with the same way, يعني the same idea, we use it in the kitchen. That's true. Okay, so this is the Gauss. وطبعا ال Bunsen burner, we said it. طب if I'm in the lab مثلا I don't have a Bunsen burner I want to heat something, what should I do? I don't have a Bunsen burner or I don't have a gas يعني. What should I do بقى? There is something called a spirit burner. I don't know you know it or not. ايه spirit burners دي? I don't remember it was here or not.
I think it has a fuel in it or oil that is used to heat.
Correct, that's true. The spirit burner دي it's a small container. You put inside it any fuel, and then here there is a rope. Once you put any you get a burning match and you make fire كده هنا عند الروب خلاص it will work. فهو بس it's just a small container, same like a small beaker كده بس it's closed. And then inside it we put any type of fuel. The most common one طبعا ethanol. This is one of the most common fuels اللي هو الإيثانول. So we just put it and we just use it. طبعا it's not advanced يعني anyone can do it. Something really simple to do يعني. But this we do usually a spirit burner if we don't have a Bunsen burner or we don't have fuel we don't have a gas يعني in the lab. So we use a spirit burner. طيب, let's continue. What else the most important one that all the time in the exam? البيوريت والبيبت والmeasuring cylinder. Very common. You can't imagine tens of questions about the burette والpipette والmeasuring cylinder. What's the difference between them? First of all, if I'm going to ask you about the burette, no problem يا جوجو, you can check the record, it's fine, don't worry. بس أنا يعني موضوع الريكورد ده يعني I hope if I found that all of them are here already in the meeting, I'm not going to put the record. But you can text me, I'll send it to you, no problem. So let's talk about البيوريت والبيبت والmeasuring cylinder. What's the difference between them? البيوريت, this is really easy to use. The burette is really easy to use. It can measure till 50 centimeter cube. يعني if I want to measure the volume of any liquid till 50 centimeter cube, we take care الtop بتاع البيوريت is 0 وال 50 down, not the opposite. So this is called the burette. It's really big. We use it if you're done with titration. If you did titration before in the school, maybe you know this. The burette is really big. It is about 50 centimeter cube. Usually we use it to measure the volume of the liquids. What is the advantage? What is the disadvantage? This is a question in the exam. The advantage is إنه البيوريت is easy to use أو easy يعني in general easy to handle. بس الحاجة النيجاتيف إنها it is inaccurate. يعني البيوريت is inaccurate, but it is easy to use. طيب, what's the other option that I can use? هي not inaccurate, sorry, it's accurate. اللي inaccurate بقى measuring cylinder. يعني البيوريت it's accurate. Okay, but measuring cylinder, again, it's easy to use. Again, it's easy to use, بس البروبلم في measuring cylinder إنها not accurate. It's inaccurate. It's not accurate at all. يبقى once again, what's the difference between the graduated cylinder والبيوريت? As I told you, البيوريت measure till 50 accurate. The graduated cylinder, it's easy to use, but the problem is إنه it's not accurate. It's totally inaccurate. Okay? طيب, another one more difference إن إنه if I want to measure, طب I don't have a burette, but I don't have a measuring cylinder. Is there any other option? Yes, you can use the pipette. I will show you بقى البيبت. Pipette is really thin.
Say hi to Maggie.
Excuse me.
Say hi. He'll give you something, تعالى.
So we have the pipette. what Juju, please, if you don't mind, we can keep us all the questions till the end. يعني خلاص we're done, we're about to finish the tools. الpipette, again, it's another way of measurement for the liquids. If I want to measure the volume of the liquid, we can use again the pipette. طب what's the difference between the pipette and the burette? الpipette cannot measure except 25. يعني this is the maximum volume that it can measure. maximum 25 centimeter cube. لكن البيورات it can measure till 50. لكن هنا البيبات maximum 25. وبرضه البيبات is accurate. يبقى measuring cylinder not accurate. But the burette and the pipette, both of them are accurate. طب what other difference again other than يعني في البيورات والبيبات؟ إنه البيبات cannot measure decimal. يعني let's say مثلا I want to measure 17.3 centimeter cube. It's very hard to use البيبات لأنه البيبات is really thin. It looks like the straw. عارفين حاجة very thin. لكن البيورات is big, so it can measure any number. It can since any number till 50 يعني. It can measure a whole number. It can measure decimal, no problem. لكن البيبات usually it measure fixed numbers only. يعني it cannot measure, as I told you, the other numbers. طيب, there was a question before for the burette. They were saying for Cambridge, it was in Cambridge. They were saying a student made experiment with the burette. He was measuring 50 centimeter cube of any substance, let's say of HCl. So they were asking them, what will happen if we used, if the students want to measure instead of 50 centimeter cube, he want to measure 100 centimeter cube. What's the difference and what's the problems that he will have? If he will use instead of 50 centimeter cube, if he will measure 100 centimeter cube,
He will need to refill again.
Exactly. البيورات
Yes.
maximum بتاعها is 50. It cannot measure till 100. So the first problem I will say إنه البيورات cannot measure more than 50. طيب, how can I solve this problem? I can use two burettes. This is an option. You can use two burettes. أو other option إنه you can refill the burette. يبقى you have two options. Either you can refill the burette, يعني after you're done with the burette, you refill it again. This is an option. Or the other option, you can do what? You can use two burettes. This was a question before in the exam. Okay, so like this, we're done with what's the difference between pipette, burette, and measuring cylinder. So I will say them again. The three of them, they measure the volume of the liquids. Pipette and burette are accurate, but the measuring cylinder, it's inaccurate. The only positive point with the measuring cylinder, it's easy to use. البيورات والبيبات they are different. إنه البيبات can measure only the fixed numbers, no decimals. لكن البيورات it can. طبعا من ضمن الحاجات النيجاتيف في البيبات إنها it's not easy to use لأنه it's really thin. فالliquid till it go down it takes a little bit long time. فit's not easy to use. بس it's one of the most common ones يعني.
Miss, هو البيوريت easy ولا الجراديويتد سلندر؟
لا, الجراديويتد سيلندر هي الوحيدة اللي easy to handle, easy to use.
اوكي, thank you.
هي البيورات it's not common, بس I'm talking about mark scheme answers. الميجرينج cylinder mainly هي الايزي. طيب, if I want to hold the burette مثلا, لأنه as I told you البيورات is big. يعني البيورات دي بتكون حاجة it's long one. أكيد I'm not going to use it. يعني أنا if I want to measure, أكيد I'm not going to hold it like this مثلا. No, what should I do? I'm going to get a stand. Will stand that it will hold the burette. What do we call this? A stand with a clamp. يعني this is called اللي هو the long one, ده stand. With this one is a clamp. يبقى usually we use a stand and a clamp so we can hold the burette. Again, this is really important. Okay, أهو. By the way, it was there before in Cambridge. Can you imagine? The stand and the clamp, it was there before, but I don't remember. It's not new يعني. يمكن 5-6 years ago it was there. They asked about the labels for this. Type something else I want to tell you. If I ask you بقى for this one. For this one, what's this? A crucible with a lid. It's very small. And then you can, it's having a cover. By the way, I have a video on YouTube. I don't know, did you see it or not before? I was talking in this video, يعني I have the tools this day. I was having the tools what I worked with, يعني I showed all the tools in real life. I don't know did you see it or not, but it was there already on YouTube. You will find it, yeah. If you don't find it,
Miss, you looked amazing in that video. I saw it.
you can't imagine this.
Yes.
بجد والله, did you see it؟ طب والله.
Yeah, I saw it all.
طيب والله يعني إحراج ده يا جوجو. طب thank God that you liked it. Check this video. You will find it on YouTube. If you
ايه
didn't find
الاكونت
it,
بتاعك
if you didn't find it, you can just text me on the group. I will send it again. But this video was really helpful regarding tools يعني in general that we use. طيب I uploaded yesterday the video. مش عارفة did you see it or not? The top of the world. لامار حبيبتي. She got the full mark in the exam for the Cambridge. She got top of the world. I put the video yesterday in the Instagram. I don't know did you see it or not. عقبالكم يا رب كده إن شاء الله. على فكرة she was with us in the group even here in Chemistry Lovers. She was attending all the classes. She was attending the mocks. She was attending the night of the exams. ما شاء الله, she got the highest top of the world. Can you imagine? ما شاء الله, she got the full mark. Let's continue. What does the glass rod do? I will say, Ryan, what does the glass do? What is the crucible lid do? I will say no use. Again, what does the crucible do? If you check here, I was talking about the video because this was in the video. It's a small, very small. It's a white one. It was in the video. If you check the video on YouTube, you will find this. It is with the lid. طب why especially we use this? Usually we use this if I want to heat something that like a metal مثلا. Well, sometimes I want to heat a substance I want to allow oxygen in, or I don't want to allow the oxygen in. But that's why you can put the lid or you can remove it. So you can control if you want oxygen to, يعني مثلا you're burning a substance, you want the oxygen to enter ولا you don't want. Whatever the experiment you do, if you يعني it has a lid, so you can control who is entering for the reaction or not. But usually it's used to heat or to burn any metal or any solids in general. يعني we use it for solids. But what do we use the dropper in if I want to put just 2-3 drops of any indicator or any substance?
بس معلش هي ال disadvantage for the crucible and lid here.
Doesn't have a disadvantage. عادي. No, nothing يعني.
Okay, thank you.
اليوم advantage و disadvantage بتوع الفوليوم اللي هم البيورات والبيبات والميجرينج سيلندر. This is very common. الدروبر بقى we use it if I want to add just few drops, 2-3 drops of any substance. Usually we use dropper. طيب graduated cylinder خلاص we said it. tongs was there before for Cambridge students. They were asked what's this. tongs usually we use it if I want to hold I'm heating مثلا a metal I want to hold this metal. So what should I do? Usually I use tongs. Okay, for safety يعني. طيب.
Miss,
Yes.
is it called dropper or teat dropper? Because sometimes they call it dropper and there's another name for it.
Both are okay.
It's inaccurate, right?
Yes, for sure it's inaccurate. Just to put, you're not measuring أصلا عشان تبقى accurate or inaccurate. You just add 2-3 drops of any substance like an indicator during titration. But for sure it's inaccurate, for sure. طب what do we use the funnel in? We use the funnel if I'm doing filtration. يعني if I want to do filtration, this is what we are going to take next class. You will put the funnel and you will put the filter paper. What will happen? And then you will put it in the flask so you can do a filtration. So we can sometimes call it filter funnel or funnel. We use it mainly for filtration. طبعا flask we said it. Googles, what do we use the googles in? If I was doing any experiment that is having anything that is not good for the eyes, whatever, like مثلا any halogen, any element from group 7. Usually group 7, they are dangerous طبعا for sure, they are poisonous. So that's why we use the googles. Or any experiment يعني that's unsafe. One of the safety precaution is to use googles, to wear a lab coat. If I'm doing experiment like electrolysis مثلا I know إنه في some of the gases are going to come out, I can do it in a fume cupboard. Again, this is very important. You can use it in fume cupboard. When you do the experiment in a fume cupboard, what will happen? It's going to take out all the harmful or these bad gases يعني. طيب, what about the evaporating dish? We use the evaporating dish if I want to heat, let's say مثلا I was having water and salt. I want to heat the water and the salt. I want all the water to evaporate. I want who to remain? The salt. So I can use the evaporating dish. But once again, you can just, if you're having water and salt, you will just heat. Once you will start heating, all the water will evaporate. Who will remain? The salt will remain. So we can use the evaporating dish. Well, sometimes they call it evaporating basin. Both are okay. Right. What about this? This is called the pipette. What do we use the pipette in? We said it. And the pipette, same. This is the same like we said the pipette. فخلاص, it's the same. What about the difference between the spatula and the steering rod? Well, please don't ever say glass rod as a label. Why I'm putting it? I'm putting it so you check the difference. Like, please don't ever write a label glass rod. It's not going to be counted. ولا Cambridge, ولا Edexcel. No, please. So you can just say, and if I'm having a flask, I want, this was a solid, I want to add any solid. So what will happen? Oh, you are having any solid here.
We use a spatula.
Exactly, you are going to use a spatula. Okay.
بس مش spatula اسمه spatula for adding, for like putting different types of like salts on, but the glass rod is like to help you place it. To help.
That's yeah, good job. So mainly the spatula, we use it to add, if I'm having any solid, I want to add the solid, but it's not going to be used to steer. Never to steer with the spatula. لأنه I told you before, the spatula is made of metal. So if I steer with the metal, it's going to react with the substance in the beaker. So I don't want this. You need, if I want to add the solid, same like if I want to make tea, you need to add with a spoon. فهنا برضو I will add the solid with the spatula, and then if I want to steer, you don't use a spatula, but I will use a steering rod like this. It looks like a rod كده. That's it. If I'm going to use the steering rod if I want to mix this solution. Okay, طيب. We said this already. Yes.
What is the difference in the uses between a funnel and a beaker?
It's the same. It's almost the same. But the funnel, maybe if I want to shake something, I want to hold, like during titration, it's going to be easier. But for both, we use them to mix. Yeah. This is the gauze I told you about. The watch glass, we never use the watch glass to heat. لأنه sometimes the students, they are confused between the watch glass and the evaporating dish. The watch glass, we can use it, but we don't heat it. لأنه it's not going to stand the heat. يعني I just put, if I'm having any salt, I was done مثلا with crystallization, I want to keep this salt on something. I'm not going to put it on a plate. Usually I put it on a watch glass. So it's really small. It's made of glass. You just put in it the salt and that's it. So we don't use it to heat.
Miss Malish, can you repeat what is a watch glass?
Watch glass, it was never before in the exam. It was never before as a label, don't worry. Usually they get the evaporating basin or evaporating dish. They never get the watch glass. But I'm just telling you, so you once you see it to know what's this. In watch glass is substance, or it's made of glass. You just put on it the salt, or any salt you are preparing, let's say, and you want to keep it there, or you want to measure the mass of it, whatever. But mainly we just want to keep it مثلا to dry. So you put it on the watch glass, like, and you don't heat the watch glass. The watch glass cannot stand, or يعني it cannot hold the high temperature. This is for the watch glass. طيب, what about the washing bottle? If I'm preparing if I want to wash any salt crystals, I can just press, or I can use the washing bottle. Again, you will find it in my video on YouTube. So the washing bottle, you will just press, so water will come out, so you can wash the crystals. And then the gas syringe. The gas syringe is really important. We use it to measure the volume بقى, بس this time the volume of gases, not liquids. And if I'm having any gas, I want to measure the volume of carbon dioxide, same like في التوبيك بتاع rate of reaction مثلا, let's say. I want to measure the volume of oxygen or of nitrogen, hydrogen, anything, you can use the gas syringe.
Miss, ودي accurate.
The gas syringe is accurate طبعا. Why it's not accurate? لا, for sure it's accurate.
أصل في other methods زي ال
Yes, في other
overhead
methods
measuring
في
cylinder.
other methods إني ممكن أحط inverted measuring cylinder ومعاه water. That's true. This is again another way. That's true. Both are okay.
Could you repeat?
Like this, I'm done with all the tools, as I told you. Inshallah, next class, we are going to talk about the ways of the separation. What is chromatography? What is simple distillation? When do we use filtration? When do we use simple distillation? When do we use crystallization? Which is, again, for some students, it's easy, but for others, somehow it's tricky. We will do this next class, inshallah. وchromatography طبعا, لأنه chromatography, I know many students, they are struggling with. I will show you بقى how the questions are. Inshallah, next Friday. Yes, يا جوجو. If anyone want to leave, you can leave. I will just take the questions.
بس هو معلش كنت I was asking about يعني لما كان حضرتك كاتبة الفورمولا بتاعت NH3 plus HCl. هو احنا المفروض هنا بنعمل adding يعني for the atoms.
Yes.
Just adding.
Yes, yes.
هو احنا يعني by time we're going to know how to write the formulas وكده صح؟
Sure, you will. For sure. This is just states of matter. This is the beginning.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Others. Oh, ما شاء الله.
كان عندي سؤال تاني بس هو في disadvantage for the purette other than that's maximum هي ال 50 centimeter cube.
لا, البيورات هي 50 بس. The one that's having a lot of measurements هي measuring cylinder. measuring cylinder في some of them they are having 50, some of them they are having 100 centimeter cube, يعني some of them 200. فالmeasuring cylinder it's having a lot of volumes. لكن البيورات it's 50 only. والpipette is always 25.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Salom.
Miss, could you repeat the gas syringe?
The gas syringe, we just use it to measure the volume of any gas. And if I'm doing any experiment, what I know here in this flask, carbon dioxide will be out. If I want to know how much carbon dioxide are there, if I would just put the gas syringe, you will find in the part D is going to come out and it will measure how much gas is there.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Yes, yeah, Jojo.
Miss, I have a question. For the attraction forces last time, we said that the gas has very weak. Are they like very weak or they are not aslan, they do not exist?
They are almost,
there are no forces.
You can say very weak or you can say they almost don't exist. Both are okay.
Okay, and another thing, when you said about in the heating curve, the equation thing, you wrote a reversible arrow,
yes,
and it was only a heating curve. Why?
Because sometimes it's reversed. This is how the mark scheme wrote it, Yajuj. لأنه sometimes it's reversed. If you just cooled, it's going to be the opposite.
Even if it clearly declares that it's a heating curve or a cooling curve?
This is how the mark scheme said it, not me. If you check the mark scheme, you will find the same. Yes, that's true.
Can you just explain once more Brownian motion, the definition of it?
Brownian motion, again, when the particles of the dust, they are moving in the zigzag line. Why? Because all the time they are hitting each other's or colliding with each other's and with the walls of the container.
So it's only applied to gases, not liquids.
No. Yes, mainly for gases, yes. Thank you, Yejush. Razaz?
Miss,
Ryan, tell me.
what type of questions come in Brownian motion?
No, it's very few. If you want me to show you, it's very few, just 2-3 questions in all the past papers. Very few.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Omar.
First, I wanna thank you for this astonishing lesson. Secondly, I wanna ask you about the measuring scale for the burette. You've mentioned that
Zero
it's actually upside down.
That's true.
Yeah, I know it's 50 centimeter cubic or something like that. But is it upside down or what? You pointed out to this.
Not upside down. Here it measures like this. The 50 is not up. The 0 is down or 50 is up. Sorry, the 0 is up or 50 is down. If you check any video for the burette, you will find the same like what I told you.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Thank you for this amazing lesson.
Thank you. Waiting for you next Friday. Stay tuned.
Okay.
مستنيين المسلسل. السيريس النيو سيريس. Yes عمر.
Yes, Miss. If you asked us to explain the diffusion using the kinetic particle theory, how do we write it?
Yes, as I told you, as I said at the beginning, in the particles, they are going to move from the high concentration to the lower concentration. Why? Then all the time the particles are in a continuous motion. If the particles are not moving, what will happen? Do you think diffusion will happen?
No, but the question is if, like, the particles, the kinetic particle theory, the energy, how
Yes.
do we explain it? Like the lighter molecular mass and the heavier molecular mass. How do we explain with it
Nothing.
using
You
the
are going to say in the lighter one, they are going to diffuse faster, with the other one, they are going to diffuse slower. That's it.
Okay, and my second question, sometimes there is a picture of a burette, but it's not graduated. What is it called?
Dropping funnel. This is a good question. There is another one, something like this. There is more than one. If it is small, so this is dropping funnel. There is, I think you mean the dropping funnel. There is another one called separating funnel. We will take it next class. But I think if you're talking about the practical question, it's a dropping funnel. You use it if you want to fill, if you want to add any substance from up, but not with measurement, as you said. يعني just you want to add مثلا a sum of any acid, let's say, but it's not numbered. The tool itself is not numbered. Yes, this is the dropping funnel.
Okay, and what's titration? My last question.
We are going to take titration later when we take acid with alkali. When you put acid with alkali together, this is called titration. We'll take it later. Let's still not now.
Okay, thank you, Miss.
Welcome, sweetheart. Yes, Yahya.
Yes.
Miss,
بقول I was asking if we can take like chromatography next lesson because I still like I'm in year 9 and we still did not like take like diffusion. We won't take it this year. So like, will you like take chromatography and all this?
We will take it next class, Yahya, inshallah, next week. Don't worry.
Okay, inshallah. Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome.
Miss Nour,
Yes.
when you said about the stand with the clamp, you said it's used to hold apparatus, but there's also a piece in it that's called the bus. Do we have to mention it?
No. For the labels that came before in the exam was only the stand and the clamp. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. One of the best. We literally مش بحس بالزمن. Thank you so much for your time. That's my pleasure. يعني if you're enjoying the class, I told you before, this is the best feeling I have ever. يعني I will not find something like this feeling. يعني for me, this is the best. والله. Many thanks, Miss Nour. Thanks for your time. Habibi Rain. Thank you. You're most welcome. Thanks a lot, Miss, for your efforts in the class, and see you next Friday for sure. You're most welcome, Ya Noon. For sure we will, inshallah. Thank you, Miss. I swear, the best teacher ever. حبيبتي يا ميرو. Thank you. You are a good teacher,
Miss,
even though it's my first time. Thank you, Yahya. It's my pleasure. It's an honor. I told you it's going to be your first, but not your last. Inshallah. Lala, we're gonna attend all, inshallah. For sure, you have to attend, inshallah. Thank you, Miss. I love you. I love you too, yes, Awsan. Thank you. You're the best. وانتي يا جوجو كمان, you're the best. I will put, as I told you, I will upload, I think, all of you on Chemistry Lovers. So I will tell you, inshallah, our next class. Before our next class, I will tell you when is the class. Well, I will upload for you the PDF by يعني once بس record will be done, I will upload for you كمان the PDF, inshallah. Of course, I will join. You're a great teacher, and thank you for your efforts. Thank you, Omar. Thank you so much.